Okay, so today class we're looking at the converse of Pythagorean theorem, and this is day one for some, and some of y'all already on day two. Your warm up for today is asking you to determine the side limbs of the triangle and see whether or not it's a right triangle. So remember, you're going to use Pythagorean theorem: a squared plus b squared equals c squared. If a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, then it's a right triangle, and if it's not, then it's not a right triangle. Okay, so remember that, and also remember that your largest side, when given three limbs, you're going to use that as your c in the formula. Let's take a look at the learning target success criteria. We are learning how to solve problems involving right triangles using Pythagorean theorem in order to see the application in navigation and architecture. And then the success criteria is I can apply converse of Pythagorean theorem, also known as Pythagorean theorem inequality. So the only vocabulary that you guys have is the greater, less than, or greater than. Normally, you will see this the other way, but the reason it's saying less than on these slides is it says in context of the converse of Pythagorean theorem, you're reading it from the right hand side. So remember that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So on the right hand side where c is, this would be considered to be less than, and then the other one would be considered to be greater than. So remember, we reading this from the right hand side. So c squared from the right, this is saying it will be less than, and then greater than from the right. If c squared is greater than, so you're reading it from the right hand side. So if c squared is less than, that's what it would say, and then c squared is greater than, that's what it would say. All right, so you guys have a graphic organizer. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. It's pretty straightforward. So you guys are given a paper that looks just like this, except yours is blank. You're going to fill in each part. So it says Pythagorean theorem. We have a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are legs and c is the hypotenuse. This is what's new today, the converse of Pythagorean theorem. So again, we're reading this from the right hand side. It say a squared plus b squared, and this is saying if c squared is less than. So c squared is less than a squared plus b squared is going to be acute. If a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, then it's going to be considered a right triangle. And then if a squared plus b squared is greater than, so c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared, then it's going to be obtuse. Again, you're reading these from the right side instead of from the left. Pythagorean triples, which we didn't really kind of cover, but it just says that it's three whole numbers to solve Pythagorean theorem. The most common will be 3, 4, and 5. Now, at the bottom of your graphic organizer, guys, you have two special right triangles. It's considered to be 45, 45, 90, and 30, 60, 90. Put an X through those at the bottom too, because you don't need them, okay? Because we're not going to cover that. We can do everything we're going to do using trig, which was what we'll be getting to next. All right, so again, let's look at the steps for solving the converse of Pythagorean theorem. So again, make sure you guys write this down in your notes. The graphic organizer, you just fill it in. Again, make sure you write the vocabulary down in your notes. So here, it says, here's the steps. Circle the largest number. Okay, so they're going to give you three values. Remember that you need to figure out what the largest number is. So whatever the largest number is, you're going to circle it. And this will be your C, also known as your hypotenuse. Then you're going to fill in the chart. And at the end, once you fill in the chart, the very last column, you're going to determine one of these three things. So if C squared is less than, greater than, or equal to. And again, all I did was rewrite this. It says c squared is greater than, I wrote it going the other way. If c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared, then it's obtuse. If c squared is less than, and I missed the squared part, so I'm going to add that in now. C squared, my bad. So if c squared is less than a squared plus b squared, then it's acute. And then if c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, then it's considered to be a right triangle. Okay? So that's the only thing that's new. I'm going to model a couple of examples that you guys had. So this problem actually comes directly off your assignment. So we have three measurements, 8, 14, and 15. Remember that A and B does not matter. The only part that matters is C. You can switch A and B interchangeably. It does not affect the problem. So first, they're asking us to square A squared. So you can pick 8 or 14. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to plug 8 here. So 8 squared here. Then I got 14 squared. And remember, I went ahead and circled my C. So my C in this case is 15. So I'm going to put this down here where it says C squared. So 15 squared. So now we're going to actually simplify our values. So a squared is going to give me 64. Okay. B squared, I don't know that one off the top of my head, so I'm typing in the calculator. 14 squared is 196. So I got 196. Now here it's saying what's a squared plus b squared. So here you can literally just add these two values together to get this one. So let's do 64 plus 196, and it gave us 260. So this column is going to say 260. Now I seen y'all do this a couple different tricks, so I'm gonna do the way that I saw one student do it, and I thought it was pretty clean. So let's do c squared. 15 squared is gonna give me 225. Okay. So now from here, I need to do two things. Fill in the other first column, which is asking me, is it less than, greater than, or equal to? So 260 and 225. Which one is bigger? That's really the question you need to ask because they obviously not equal. So 260 will be my larger number. So in this case, I'm going to write 260 is greater than 225. Now remember that we reading this from the right hand side, right? So c squared, which is 225, is actually less than 260. Remember that if it's less than, you're going to say that this is acute. Okay, and that's it. That's all you guys are doing. So you're going to simplify a squared, simplify b squared, add a squared plus b squared together, simplify c squared, and then determine if it's going to be greater than, less than, or equal to. Once you figure that out, then you're going to just fill in the column to state whether it's going to be acute, obtuse, or right triangle. Okay, I got two more examples, and again, make sure you guys copy this down in your notes. All right, these problems I pulled directly from um, Delta Math because you guys have questions on there as well for Converse. So this would be my values. They say the side triangles are 19, 29, 39. So again, remember step one, say circle your biggest number. In this case, my biggest number is 39, so c squared is 39. So I got 39 squared over here for c. A, it doesn't matter. You can put 19 or 29. I'm just putting 19 in order. So I got 19 squared, and then I got 29 squared. So let's find out. We got 19 squared, which the calculator just gave me 361. 361. Then we have 29 squared. This one gave me 841. And again, these numbers might be large, and that's okay. 841. And now I need to figure out what a squared plus b squared is. So I'm going to just literally add those values together. So I'm going to do 841 plus 361. It gave me 1,202. All right. Then I need to do 39 squared, which gave me 1,521. Okay. So again, I'm reading this. I need to figure out which one is larger. So we have 1,202 or 1,202, and then we got 1,521 or 1,521. In this case, 1,521 is greater than 1,202. Remember, we reading this from the right hand side. So c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared. So in this case, this one is a 2. And remember that if they equal to each other, then it'll be considered a right triangle, which we've been doing that for a while. And that's also what you're doing on the warm up today. All right, here's the last, and again, make sure you guys copy this down in your notes. Here's the last example I'm going to do, and I did this one on purpose because it's an actual Delta Math problem, so we got two other examples. I got 56, 94, and 84. Again, I'm going to go ahead and just circle what my biggest value is. So I'm going to do 56, and this time I don't have a chart, but it's okay because the steps is the same. I'm going to do 56 squared plus 86 squared, and I want to know, is that equal to 94 squared? Okay, so 56 squared, and then these some large numbers, so I'm gonna put it at the bottom. 3,136 plus 86 squared. This is 7,396. And again, kind of see what it is. And then we got 94 squared, and it's okay. We got large numbers, so we can use the calculator. And this is 8,836. 8,836. All right, so now let's add these other two numbers together. We got 3,136 plus 7,396, which gave me 10,000. So I'm gonna go ahead and just simplify this. I get 10,532, and then remember we got 8,836. So the question is, which one is larger, right? In this case, the 10,000 is greater than. I'm reading this from the left hand side. So from the right hand side. So 8,836, which is my c squared, is less than my 10,000. So here, guys, when you click the little drop down for Delta Math, you're gonna actually it's gonna ask you whether it's acute or obtuse or right. Here you're gonna actually put acute. This triangle's acute, and then it says because the squares are the largest side, the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So the largest side was supposed to be C. Here you're going to either write less than, greater than, or equal to. And in this case, it's less than. Okay. So for those of you that's working on the Delta Math, make sure that you are still simplifying. You're trying to see if a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, or if it's less than, or if it's greater than. Okay. So that's how you would do it. And then just one more example. We had 96, 95, and 37. Again, the very first step that I gave you guys is to go ahead and circle your largest number. In this case, 96 is my largest number. So I'm going to do 37 squared plus 95 squared again. And I want to know is that equal to 96 squared. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and simplify. We have 37 squared. It gave me 1,369. Then we got 95 squared. 9,025. And then we have 96 squared. And again, these are the Delta Math problems, which you guys actually had to complete. So I got 9,216. Again, now I need to combine all my terms. So let's do 1,369 plus 9,025. And it gives me 10,394. And then this side was 9,216. And so again, I'm trying to figure out what's larger. In this case, the 10,000 is larger. Remember, I'm reading this from the right-hand side. So I got 9,216, which is my c squared. It's actually going to be less than. So here I'm going to write less than, hit the drop down, click less than. And then again, you need to state whether the triangle is acute, right, or obtuse. And so on this case, we have another acute triangle. Okay. So the process is the same, guys. Only difference is with Delta Math, they don't give you the chart on how to actually simplify. What you guys have practice doing this for 2 days, so or you will have practice doing this for the next 2 days, so it shouldn't be a problem. And now you are officially done with the notes section. Please make sure that you copy down the teacher do slides. Again, I copied this one directly from the classwork that you guys have. Copied on this one. And again, pause the video if you need to. Copy this example down. And copy this example down. If you guys have questions, please feel free to ask me during class time. And go ahead and work on your classwork, guys. Have a great day.